What is going on, CLTC? My name's Giant G. This is Aaron Lawrence of My Blue Hope. Aaron, how you doing tonight?
Doing all right. It's good to be here.
It's a very wonderful, non-rainy Thursday night here out in the Plaza Midwood area. We're right in front of Petra's. Aaron, this interview is we're going to talk a little bit about you ahead of Brewfest over at Binford Brewing, as well as Eastway Holiday.
Yep.
Let me start off with asking, how you feeling about festivals this fall?
It's pretty crazy that we're part of two of them in the same month. But just the lineups are great. Very different feels to both of them. But it's awesome that they're both happening. Really excited about Tommy's doing this, and hopefully this will become an annual thing.
The fact that it's like the first, I won't say it's their first fest, but it's definitely their first fest.
Right. Well, and I mean, Plaza Midwood in general doesn't really happen that typically, does it?
Yes and no. I mean, I feel like there have been Petra's, for example, has a couple of those festivals go on, or has had a lot of those festivals go on year to year. But with COVID and all that, we haven't had a lot, which is why it's exciting that we're going to have a couple outdoor festivals here out in the area.
Yep.
And Eastway Holiday, I think, is probably one of the few that is actually happening this year.
Yeah. Indoor and outdoor. 2 stages.
Oh. You guys are going to be on the outdoor stage, I believe?
No, we're indoor. All the heavier bands are going to be indoor.
Okay. Really?
Yes. That way it's a little more listener friendly for the people who could just be passing by. It's to give them a false sense of security, so then they walk in and get blown away. Yeah.
They're not going to get bombarded.
They're right. They're like, oh, this is chill.
You are
and
attacking.
Then they walk in and they're like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
Attacking the good citizens of Charlotte. How could you? So how long has My Blue Hope been operating in the Charlotte scene?
Gosh, officially or in its current version. I started about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And played for a few years, and then just stuff happened and I had to stop. And then 3 years ago, I started back as a solo act. And then right before COVID, Brett Butler approached me and was like, "Hey, do you want to turn this into a full sound?" And it was something that was always kind of what I wanted to do. But until somebody came forward and was like, "Hey, let's do this," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, now is the time." So then I started piecing things together.
Which ended up becoming a trio act, but for what I've seen you actually participate in Charlotte, whether it's been over at Skylark, the Milestone, Tommy's, you've actually been a solo act. You would be what I would say one of the Charlotte singer-songwriters, like one of the originals here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I've always focused more on the singer-songwriter aspect of it. It's just now with the band, it's finally been an opportunity to put more of the sound that's been in my head all along out there. Most of my songs can still be ported over to acoustic if needed. Not all of them, but
I think that's definitely an asset when it comes to transition. And I don't think a lot of bands in the area or just in general can do that. So I think that's really an asset.
We had a show that kind of fell on our laps, and then it turned out that Josh, our current drummer, wasn't able to do it, and I was like, "Nah, it's fine. I'll do it without you." I just played it solo. But
so you didn't have Seth on bass while you were?
No, it was just I'll go out. It was with it was out in Salisbury.
Okay.
With Home for the Day. So it just kind of
So who are your favorite bands in the area, and who do you like to work with most?
Those are very different questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love Violent Life, Violent Death. They're definitely in my favorites to go see. Work with them, doesn't happen because the genres are so very different. So I can't say they're my favorite to work with, but I love those guys. And you know, I guess if my music were heavier, I'd work with them. I mean, really, just a lot of the guys that I met last year at what was Raven Fest, that'll now be Brewstock moving forward. I love working with and playing with all those guys. Home for the Day, Duck Beat, Duck Beat's singer Mike Smith, who he produced our single, and we're planning on having him produce the whole rest of the album. So he's just a great guy. But yeah, there's a lot of.
So he works with a lot of. I've seen him in a few house shows, as well as like being the bigger set of Duck Beat.
Yeah, he stays busy.
Honestly, that's a good group to deal with, because I think, most of the time, or at least for 2021, I haven't seen Duck Beat be away from Home of the Day, but then again, they share each other's stages along with Atticus.
Yep.
And that's just like, I do think Charlotte has a lot of good groups that do work together, and you're definitely part of like one of those collectives.
Right. And one of the things I love so much about that group in particular is how young they are. Because I'm 40, Seth is 45, I think. We're definitely the older side of things, and so seeing these guys that are, Mike's 20. So seeing these guys.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Mike's only 20.
Wow.
So seeing these guys that are this young, that are putting out like the quality that they are, like I just freaking love it. Like it gives me a lot of hope. Every few years people start talking about like rock being dead. It's like it's always the thing. Oh, techno's gonna kill it or whatever. And then you got. Every few years. I was
gonna say, does anything really ever die?
No, it doesn't, and I love it because people keep saying, "Oh, it's going to," and then all of a sudden you get like these bands of 20-year-olds that are like, fuck you, we're gonna scream," and I'm like, yes. So, I love it.
I mean, it works. I think especially for some like, I won't say like maybe noise centric is probably a good way to say like, I love Mutant Strain, very wholesome group, very good individuals. And like their sound basically just it elevates the energy of the room. Same thing with Petra. All right, Tetanus. And there's a couple bands like that. And I won't say Duck Beak. Yeah, Duck Beak is like that. But at the same time, like they do get like they have the ability to capture the energy in a room.
Yeah.
And just
right. Yeah, I definitely agree. And that's what I like to see in a show. Like, then there's a lot of bands who I've been longtime friends with. Mercury Dimes and Modern Moxie. And Modern Moxie, I was actually I used to play with them back before they were Modern Moxie. Back when it was just
Madison's band.
Yeah, just her. And,
no kidding.
Yeah. So I used to way back. I would play with her, Bless You Sounds Under the City, Dollar Signs when they were a two-piece. That was my circle back then.
Get
And then I dropped out of the scene completely, and then everyone like Dollar Signs I love those guys. They're
okay. We had to take a minute, so we're getting back to it. So yeah. Wow, you were part of Dollar Signs. You were part of Martin Moxie. Like I know you were. I mean, you played with, but at the same time, like it's cool that like you've been here for a minute, so you definitely have the history that I was talking before this interview, like talking to you about. But like you've kind of been like, not only do you have history, but you've been kind of like a little bit the DNA, even though you did spend a decent amount of time away.
5 years out. Yeah.
I mean, but you have that history. And like a lot of these bands did come up. It's cool to see. It's like watching a seed grow into like a tree.
Yeah, and it feels that way. like it felt like I spent a long time, buried. But yeah, it's starting to feel like things are blossoming. to keep that same analogy going.
Yeah, especially with the transition that you kind of made as now that you are the trio with you, Seth, and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you looking forward to going forward into 2021 and I guess into 2022? It's September, so
we need to get the album finished. I was planning on doing that over this past year, but at that point I was planning on doing a lot more of it myself. So then as it started becoming apparent that there was going to be a full band like involved, I kind of put doing a lot of the recording on the back burner just because that way I wouldn't have to take so much on for just turn it into an actual band sound as opposed to me with a bunch of tracks.
I gotcha.
So, but yeah, we need to do that. That's the primary thing I think I'm looking forward to in the near future. Is just getting the album actually done and out there. So just keep pushing shows.
As much as we are, I've talked about this a little bit. Actually, we can go into that. I've talked a little bit on my social media and a couple of the posts that are on the 20XX site, but I don't think that and this may age poorly, I don't foresee venues closing down again. And I think that like the masking is probably going to stick around. But what do you think? Do you think anything's that might detriment? I know this might be a little risky question, but do you think there's going to be a detriment going forward into the winter months and into 2022? I've asked venue owners this and like what their opinions are.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think so. I feel like I don't know. It's in some ways I feel like people are starting to come to grips with the reality of what is, and it's like you have to keep moving. You know what I mean? There's already so much struggle that happened just from all the lockdowns last time, and you could look at some of the upcoming plans for right up the road that some of that was going to happen anyhow, but I think the lockdowns definitely did kind of helped aid that along a little bit, and I'm afraid more of that would be happening if it happened again, and that was one of my fears the first time it happened, and I think people are starting to be like, no, we can't have that. Like it's important to keep these small businesses running. So because of that, I don't think, I think the people that are calling those shots have figured out that it's important enough to not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thankfully, all the venues in Charlotte, none of them shut down during the pandemic. Everyone was kept going, and streaming became more of a stronger thing.
It did.
So, like, innovation definitely happened in the time that, we were inside our houses. We have to figure out what to do, and
it was fun for a while too.
Yeah. It was definitely. Very,
I was doing a lot of streaming.
Oh my god!
For the first few months, it was. And I did the milestone when one of their.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the end of the last summer, I think everyone was kind of like, well, this was fun. How much longer?
Yeah. But I think everything is going to be good. I think the fests are probably going to be on. Hopefully that also does not age poorly.
I think.
Oh yeah,
I think that's safe.
Especially since like the indoor outdoor, but. All right, man.
Well, and Brewstock is all outdoor. So.
Ooh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that one will. I mean, we had the last one last year. Yeah.
Oh,
because that was. Yeah. Not everyone was happy about that. But
I think it was a lot worse. There was a lot more unknowns last year. They're like, this is, hey, we still have the same problem, but we have solutions.
Right. Yeah. that's why we're able to do a lot more what we're, but Brewstock was, or Ravenfest last year, was, the way they managed it was all very, it's a big wide open farm. So
Yeah, have you
that's
not been there? No.
Oh, it's a huge.
No,
place.
this is good. Like I'm gonna definitely be helping cover it, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's a brewery on a huge farm.
That's crazy.
It's like, yeah, it's wide open. So that'd be cool.
That's exciting. Hey, I appreciate you coming on and talking
Of
to me.
course.
We'll definitely have to get you on again. And you said you'd be playing this weekend where?
I will be playing solo at High Branch Brewery in Concord from, what time is it? 4:30 to 7:30.
So,
and that's just, covers some original stuff, but, the acoustic singer-songwriter brewery thing.
okay. And what about for the rest of October? Do you have any plans?
Just playing.
Playing?
We've got so many shows.
Yeah. Okay. So other than the fest, where have you been playing?
We're going to be playing Milestone sometime in the middle. I don't remember the exact date, but it's a Wednesday. Let's see, we're playing Milestone. It's 2 festivals. Oh, we're playing at Noda Brewery on the 29th for their 10-year anniversary.
Halloween show.
And then we're playing a Milestone again on the 30th for the Halloween show. So yeah, 2 festivals, Noda Brewery anniversary, show the Milestone, and then the Milestone's Halloween party. So,
A lot.
Yeah, we got.
So we got about 3 months left, practically. Busy rest of the year.
After October, I'm like,
We're
I think,
like,
I think.
you need to relax.
Well, no, I think we're gonna start working real hard on getting the focus for
Gotcha.
recording. So,
Shut down. Okay.
yeah, and then so that's kind of where my head's at, is for maybe through the winter, kind of take it easy, not as many shows, but focus more on the recording, and then that way next spring, next concert season, hit it hard again with something to release, hopefully.
You will have some release. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for spending time with me in this awesome
Beautiful
night.
Autumn evening.
Again, very not rainy. It was definitely the exact opposite of yesterday, but
I loved it.
stay tuned for more. We're going to be doing more of these interviews. This is an important 20XX production. My name is Johnny G, and I hope the audio catches. Talk to you guys later.